Hello, everyone. Good evening. And I'm Warren Nelson, Director of Online Real Estate School Incorporated, the sponsor of this free live streaming real estate class. And this is the quickest hour in real estate. I want to welcome everyone here to tonight's show. I got a very good show for everyone tonight. Now, maybe you could tell by the complexion of my skin. One of the good things about this journey is it allows us vacations. It allows us to have a really good journey in life. And that's what we're going to be talking about tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Our topic for tonight's show is creating a new lifestyle. After our break, I'll tell you what I did today, what I'm doing right now, and what I plan on doing tonight. And all this is afforded in the real estate industry, ladies and gentlemen. So once we get you started in real estate, we're going to talk about these things as well. We'll be discussing the many options that are available to you in the real estate industry and how it can change the course of your life. Once you start this journey, you never know where it might lead you, ladies and gentlemen. I started out some 30 years ago investing in real estate through a group of investors. Then I started helping others purchase their first home, very rewarding. Then I started helping sellers get top dollar for their property as a good representative. Then I started teaching real estate. And now I do a live streaming show. And starting next week, ladies and gentlemen, we kick off our first podcast. None of this was planned, but you take that first leap of faith, that first step, and you never know where this journey is going to take you. I knew the day that I passed my real estate exam and was recognized as a licensed real estate professional that I was about to embark on a new journey. These last 30 years have been wonderful, joyful for me, and I take joy and pride now teaching others how to start their journey in real estate. It is one of the joys that I get. I get to pay it forward. And that is what we're going to be talking about today, ladies and gentlemen. Me paying it forward, telling you how easy it is to get started in real estate. And it's just a one time fee for the class. It's $429 with an ebook. I'm sorry, with the manual, $399 with the ebook. It is very inexpensive to change the course of your life. And this isn't about upselling, multi-selling. You've been to my show. You've seen my show many, many times, ladies and gentlemen. There is no plugs on my show. I'm not selling anything. I don't have advertisers on my show. This here is about educating you in real estate, not trying to sell you anything other than your dreams, helping you make your dreams come true. And it starts with $400, ladies and gentlemen. You probably lost more than that in the casino in one day and had nothing to show for it. $400, a 75-hour journey will get you knowledgeable in real estate, get you a license with the state of Pennsylvania, and it is the beginning of a new journey for you. My job is to simply encourage you to take that first leap of faith. And that's what I'm going to do tonight, ladies and gentlemen. So, we're going to take a little break before we get started. After our break, let's change the course of your life and see if we can make this journey pleasurable. We'll be back right after these messages. So, let's give you an idea what I did today, ladies and gentlemen. Me and the wife, we woke up around 6 a.m. We packed the car. We were on the road at 7, and by 9 a.m., we were on the beach in Wildwood. As you could probably tell by my nice tan, it was nice and sunny in Wildwood today, but it's pouring rain here in Philadelphia. Torrential downpours, thunderstorms. Even my cable was out. So we get started at 7 o'clock in the morning. We're on the beach at 9, spend a couple hours on the beach enjoying the ocean. We walk around the boardwalk for about an hour, got ourselves some pizza, a couple of beers. We got some fudge, some popcorn, some saltwater taffy, and back in time to do the show. Again, that is the great thing about real estate, ladies and gentlemen. It affords you all these opportunities where you don't have to work day in and day out, making life stressful, where all you do is the same routine day in and day out. Once you have that real estate license, ladies and gentlemen, you become an independent contractor. You make your own hours. You don't have a boss. You are running your own business. And what I do is I teach you not only how to pass the real estate exam, I teach you how to run a real estate business. And once you're running your real estate business and investing in property and helping others, the money is rolling in. And you're not relying on the same old flat paycheck week after week, ladies and gentlemen. And that is the beauty about this real estate. The money's in the real estate, the money's in money, but the money's also in real estate. And I teach you both in my class. So what I've done, as I've done before, ladies and gentlemen, is I put together this free live streaming class to talk with those who are always interested about or thinking about getting into the real estate business. Now, as you see, ladies and gentlemen, this is a live streaming show. I have nothing that I'm reading. Everything's off the cuff, and that is the way that the real estate business is. It is a live streaming show. It is not a pre-recorded radio show or a pre-recorded show. Life's not pre-recorded. I say this week after week. Life is a live streaming event, and I have high respect for live streaming events because everything is done naturally, off the cuff. Nothing's rehearsed. I'm not reading anything. I'm not prepared. Literally, not prepared. Every week, my producer will tell you 10 minutes, 15 minutes before the show starts, I put together something to at least get the show started. And so, what did I say? Our journey would be today? We're going to be creating a new lifestyle. See that? So, I had to write that down before we even started. So, creating a new lifestyle is going to be our journey today. And it's going to be starting with you getting out of the rut, ladies and gentlemen, getting out of that day to day routine. We're coming out of a pandemic, and we are coming out of the pandemic. Some would like us to be back into the pandemic, but we are coming out of a pandemic. But as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, the schools are not coming out of a pandemic. The schools would prefer the pandemic to last another year or two, and out of spite, we'll keep your kids all masked up or force them, because that's what schools do. They riddle in your kid. They like to put drugs in your kid, attention deficit. So somehow or another, the schools became the pharmaceutical industry, and they want to drug up your kid and make your kid take vaccines and do this, do that, when it's really child abuse. They don't need it. But because of the public school system, ladies and gentlemen, uh, you're not getting an education. You're not getting the things that you need to get ahead in life. You're being held down. Your dignity's being taken away. Your dreams are being taken away. Your desires are being taken away. And if they can't take it away by routine of telling you that you're being held back, that you're at disadvantage, then we're going to drug you up so that you are disadvantaged. That is the school system today. And I am glad that my school isn't anything like the public school. All you have to do is read my reviews, ladies and gentlemen. They're not made up either. They are as real as they come. I have never changed one, and fortunately, so far, I will get a bad review. It hasn't happened yet, but you can't make everybody happy, and there's always going to be Mr. and Mrs. Miserable out there that no matter what you do for them, they're still going to troll you and give you a bad review. Fortunately, I haven't got the bad review yet, but I'm realistic. I understand the day will come. So if you read my reviews, ladies and gentlemen, you will see that my students have gotten a great education. As a matter of fact, I'm very, very excited. Very, very excited, ladies and gentlemen. Next week, we will have my first guest speaker, Denise McCoy. Where do you get to meet this wonderful young woman? She was in my class. Great personality. She's going to be great in the real estate industry, and she fired her real estate agent. She got into my class because she had a real estate agent. She knew that the real estate agent wasn't treating her right, knew that the real estate agent wasn't representing her, and called me and got to my class, learned what she needed to learn. She knows this contract better than a real estate agent, so much better. She fired her real estate agent, fired him, and was working on her own deal to get her own property right out of school. She just passed her state exam on the 6th, I believe, and she's going to be my guest speaker next week. I can't wait. Wait till you see the personality of this young lady. She's going to go so far in the real estate industry and so far in life. And I'm looking forward. And I haven't sprung it on her yet. If she's watching the show, I'm going to spring it on her. I'm going to ask her to be my first. I'm doing my first podcast next week. First podcast. So I'm going to see if I can get her to stick around and do the podcast with me. So she'll be my first guest speaker, and she'll be my first guest speaker on my first podcast as well. And again, as I said, I didn't ask her yet, but hopefully she's watching the show and is already excited and wants to do both. But no worries. Improvise. That's the thing about real estate, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing's prepared. You have to do case by case. Each day is different in the real estate business. Each client, each investor, each property is different. There's no two properties the same. There's no two clients the same. There's no two deals the same, ladies and gentlemen. But there's a lot of slim shady going on out there, and I want to warn you. We talked about never buying anything on a quit claim deed. That's not transferring a property, that's a transfer of interest, if any. We talked about there's no such thing as a no money down deal. No, there's not. Not in Pennsylvania. You don't have a legal contract without consideration. So there's no such thing as a no money down deal. And you better watch these assignment deals, ladies and gentlemen. These assignment deals have put many people in the poorhouse because you're not aware of alienation clause, acceleration clause when you are assuming the mortgage. And what they talk about, they like to do these word games. We are assuming the contract. Well, great. So somebody was going to buy it. Now they're not buying it. So now you want to give it to me so I can buy it. And that's called assigning the contract. It's a play on words, ladies and gentlemen. It is so slim shady. But if you don't know what you're doing, knowledge is power. I will teach you how to invest in property. And you know what, ladies and gentlemen? What the turbulent times coming ahead. And I can tell you right now, I've been doing this for 30 years. It's like the ocean that I was in this morning. The tide comes in, the tide goes out. The tide comes in, the tide goes out. The ebb and flow of life and this real estate industry. I'm a baby boomer, born in 1964, so I caught the last tail end of the baby boomer, but officially I'm a baby boomer. I did Generation X, Generation Y, two recessions in that generation, ladies and gentlemen. That was a very depressed 10 years. And that depressed 10 years had a correlation on the millennial generation as well. So understand that if you do not understand your history, you will be doomed to repeat it. And that repeat, what you saw in the savings and loan scandal, what you saw in the subprime crisis scandal, is about to happen again. But are we still not here today, ladies and gentlemen? Life goes on. And if you understand how to invest in property when interest rates go up and when interest rates go down, then you will survive. I started out when interest rates, you couldn't get a mortgage for less than 13%. 13%. And for most people, they were dealing around 18% because their credit wasn't good. And so this was the savings and loan scandal back in the early 80s when interest rate for a mortgage was 13, 15, 18%, and in some cases, almost 20%. But now, interest rates 4%, 5%. And I can tell you the banks are not happy with that, ladies and gentlemen. They're not making any money at 4 and 5%. As a matter of fact, the banks won't be happy unless the interest rates are 12% and above. That's where the banks will be rolling into cash. And that's what you're going to see again, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to see interest rates go up. You're already seeing prices go up. You're seeing inflation go up. You're seeing consumer confidence come down. And I can tell you right now, we probably got 3 more years of the banks working with fear. And as long as the banks are working with fear, then they're going to raise interest rates. Even if the Federal Reserve doesn't raise interest rate, the banks will. And that's going to change the investment world. But these things are a good and a bad, ladies and gentlemen, because when these fears and interest rates go up, then the prices of property will drop. Now, not good for the seller, good for a buyer because the price has dropped. So now a $400,000 property might be $300,000, but can you get the $300,000 mortgage when the interest rate is 10%, 9%? See? So again, this turbulence has one good thing that's ahead of us. It'll bring property prices down a little bit. Now, if you're already investing in property, that's not what you wanted to hear. But if you are ready at the doorstep, getting ready to invest in property, getting ready to embark on a real estate career, then you are about to hit a good market. There's a seller's market and the buyer's market. And we are slowly going back into the buyer's market. Once we hit a buyer's market, it is a great time to start real estate, especially if you're getting a real estate license, you're investing in property, or helping others with their real estate. In a buyer's market, it is very, very uh, smooth transition. In a seller's market, it is shark infested water. In the seller's market, it's hard to survive. Only the powerful, the rich, the money will talk, and those that don't have it in the seller's market will be sitting and waiting for the buyer's market. Well, you don't have to wait much longer, ladies and gentlemen. That buyer's market is about to approach us, and you will see this very moment come next year. So we're talking July of next year. It'll be a whole different game. Enthusiasm will be low. En- Encouragement will be low. Confidence will be low. But again, as I said, seen it before, we'll see it again. This is the tide coming in and out. This is not the first time, and it won't be the last time that we're going to see these turbulent times. I don't want to get into the political arena, so I won't. But you will see good times and bad times in the real estate industry. What I'm going to teach you through my 30 years of experience is how to ride that surfboard on that wave when it's a good wave or a bad wave. I'm going to teach you how to invest in property. I'm already teaching my students. And I'm teaching them owner financing, seller financing, vendor, vendee, where they become the bank, cut the bank out. You become the bank. You take the interest. You take the mortgage and the note. And so, and we're talking about a total theory state compared to a lien theory state. Let me give you an example, ladies and gentlemen. Pennsylvania is a lien theory state. Let me ask you this question. It's one of my famous questions that I've asked quite often. You buy a property today and you get a 30-year mortgage on that property. Do you own that property day one, or do you own that property 30 years later when you make your final payment? Well, the answer in Pennsylvania, ladies and gentlemen, because we are a lien theory state, is you own that property day one. Do not get the mortgage and the deed confused. The deed, the deed, the deed. Everything comes down to the deed. And most people don't even realize that there's a deed. And this is why I say you never buy property, buy a quit claim deed. All right? We want a general warranty deed. We'll talk about bargain and sale deeds, which you get at auction. What are you buying at auction? You better understand if you didn't do a title search and it's got liens and judgments on it. Here in Philadelphia, Scranton, and Pittsburgh, those utility liens and those domestic support liens are not wiped out anymore, ladies and gentlemen. So when you buy the property at auction, you're also buying these liens and you'll have to take care of that. You buy a property on a quit claim deed, you will be buying all the liens against the property and pretty much nothing else. There's a reason ladies and gentlemen, that all these abandoned properties in Philadelphia are abandoned. There's a reason that the investor can't do anything with these property because the deed is no good. You don't think an investor would love to take this abandoned property, rehab it, and rent it out and sell it to somebody else? Don't you think they would if they could? There's a reason that it's sitting there abandoned. The deed, the deed, the deed. The deed's no good. 3 mortgages against the property, 7 liens against the property. So if I try to do anything with this property, I have to take care of these mortgages and these liens against the property. Now it's no good. I can't do anything with it. I got a $200,000 property that there's $400,000 in liens and judgments against it. Why would I do that? So the house remains abandoned. And that's because the deed, the deed, the deed. So one of the first things that I teach my students is the difference between the mortgage and the deed. The deed, you own the property. The day you buy the property, the deed goes in your name. So what? You have a 30-year mortgage. That is a loan. The mortgage is not on the deed. Their name's not on the deed, ladies and gentlemen. In other states, title theory states, it's a different story. But here in Pennsylvania, you own that property day one. Your name's on that deed, not the bank's name. This also develops a problem when people will go to buy foreclosed property. They don't understand bank REO, bank foreclosure. The bank's name's not on the deed, ladies and gentlemen. The bank took the property back as collateral. It did not sell at auction, and now they got stuck with the property in their inventory. But the bank is going to give you all these addendums and all this legal language telling you that you have to clear the title, you have to quiet the title, you have to clear any clouds and judgments against the title. You got to close on time, or there's going to be a per diem, which is a penalty per day, $100 per day, and you're buying the property on a quick claim deed. You're not getting the deed to the property because the bank's name was never on the deed. The bank's name's not on the deed, so the bank doesn't own the property. You own the property day one. So when you buy a property in Pennsylvania, you get a 30-year mortgage. The deed goes in the owner's name. Day one, you own that property. So what? You got a 30-year mortgage. Do not get the mortgage and the deed mixed up. Also, another thing. Let's just say that the husband gets the mortgage. We can put the property in the husband and wife's name. Just because the mortgage is in his name doesn't mean the property can't be in both husband and wife or married couple's name. All right? You can do married couple's name on the deed, even though only one name's on the mortgage. All right? So these are the things that you're going to learn in the real estate business in my class. And there's a big difference on investing in property that we do today and what we're going to do a year and two from now. So if you want to be ahead of the curve, ladies and gentlemen, all it's going to take is a $400 investment to get all this massive knowledge that I'm about to lay on you. This is a 1-hour show. It's already halfway over, ladies and gentlemen. And what can I do? I teach you one thing, mortgage and the deed. But in my 75-hour class, I'm going to teach you contracts. I'm going to teach you law. I'm going to teach you investing. I'm going to teach you about, I got two chapters dealing with the bank and understanding the bank and the mortgage. And this is why a lot of real estate agents suffer. If they just knew how to work with the bank, give the bank what they want. And what does the bank want? They want their yield. Give us our yield, we'll give you the loan. And if a lot of real estate agents understood this, they would be able to get their clients qualified for a mortgage. But they don't hear that. And they hear, oh, you got rejected. I'll see you next year. Try to clear up your credit. It's not what the bank was saying. The bank is in the business of lending money. They have one product, Federal Reserve notes. They need to lend this money, and there's plenty of money to be loaned. I'm going to teach you where you can get that money. Forget about the banks. There are many other sources available where there's plenty of money out there to get into investment properties. And I'm going to teach you all that in my class, ladies and gentlemen. There's probably a dozen right off the top of my head right now that I could talk to you. You know what, ladies and gentlemen? Let me break you down real quick. Philadelphia Real Estate Investment Groups. Philadelphia Real Estate Investment Groups. Google it. There are plenty of groups, investor groups out there. And you can Google Philadelphia Real Estate Investment Groups. And these cats meet early in the morning, 6 o'clock for their get together. They have breakfast at 7. They have their meeting at 8 and 9 o'clock. They're out the door, and everything that you need, all the resources that you need, is with these investment groups. And they're always willing to take someone under their wings and let you see if you can find a couple investment properties. If you can find one or two, they'll show you exactly how they do it from beginning to end, so you get on the job training. And then after a couple deals, they'll let you partake in these real estate transactions after they are satisfied that you have the knowledge to do exactly what they do. So there it is. That didn't cost you anything. Maybe you want to get started in paper, a REIT, a real estate investment trust. There's another avenue. Oh, be careful, ladies and gentlemen. Be real careful. Another slim shadiness out there called digital real estate. Digital real estate, ladies and gentlemen. It's hogwash. Be careful with this one here. I've been checking it out myself, and it's one of two alternative themes, this digital real estate. One, it's buying REITs online, paper real estate. So basically, it's digital real estate because you bought the REIT online instead of in person. And the other part of this digital real estate is by selling leads. Has nothing even to do with real estate. So be careful with this new digital real estate that you're seeing out there. This is the new fad, the new wave, and it has hardly anything to do with real estate. Ladies and gentlemen, let me just bottom line it for you. Knowledge is power. There is no get rich scheme out there. You got to work to succeed. That is the secret to success right there. You have to work to succeed. Notice, I took a 2-hour trip to Jersey, and I took a 2-hour trip back to be here to do the show. Do you not think I would like to have stayed on the beach, stayed at the boardwalk, stayed out? But you got responsibilities, ladies and gentlemen. You have to work to succeed. I'm running a real estate show. I'm about to start a podcast. I'm running a school. I'm running an investment group. I'm running a real estate office, a real estate business. Ladies and gentlemen, you got to work to succeed. If you think it's a get rich quick scheme, good luck. Let me know how it works out for you. I'll be here in my successful journey waiting to hear how you did. But I can tell you right now, ladies and gentlemen, I've been doing this for 30 years. And the only way that I made money, it didn't come to me. I had to go out and get it. I had to work for it, and I had to do the job. And it's plenty of money out there, plenty of real estate out there, plenty of buyers and sellers out there. And guess what? The next generation and the next generation creates your first time buyers over and over again. You got a product that's never going to go out of style. Two things that people always need: food and shelter. So the basic need for homes, shelter. I don't care if it's a tent, ladies and gentlemen. People still need a place to live. They need a place to call home, a roof over their head. And we'll talk about it. I'm not talking about the homeless. I'm talking about campgrounds. I'm talking about tents and campers and trailers. These are real estate. And we'll talk about it: a factory built house and a manufactured home and a modular home. We'll talk about these things in the real estate class. Know the difference between a factory built home and a modular home. Uh, Both are manufactured homes. They're both made in a factory. All right. One's a prefabbed home, the other's a mobile home. All right. And we'll talk about that in the class. So this is real estate business, ladies and gentlemen. And you know what? Cemeteries. You can't even sell holes in the ground for your internal resting place without a real estate license. You can't take a lease and a security deposit without a real estate license when you're doing it for others. If you're doing it for yourself, you don't need a real estate license. You want to sell your own house, you want to rent your own house, the deed's in your name, you don't need a real estate license. But the minute you do this for anybody else, somebody else, then you need a real estate license. And with that real estate license, ladies and gentlemen, that gives you a license to earn income, to charge for your services. And that is the beautiful thing right there. Let's put up that golden ticket, ladies and gentlemen. I like to say that once you get your real estate license, you have a golden ticket. You'll never be broke. You'll never be unemployed. And look what it says: in your wildest dreams, you could not imagine the marvelous surprises that await you once you get that real estate license, ladies and gentlemen. You don't know what journey this road's going to take you down. I never planned on having this live streaming show or a podcast. Never even planned on having a school. Didn't think there was any money in it. But as I learned, teaching is not about the income, it is about the outcome. And those who I have helped, give them this golden ticket, ladies and gentlemen, to watch them go on and create other things in life from the moment they received this golden ticket to their dying days. Everything came about from the moment we all met, ladies and gentlemen. The moment they invested the $400 in this golden ticket to get their real estate license was the day that they always remembered and never looked back. Everything was great. The lifestyle was very good after that. And this is what I'm here to encourage you to do, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here to encourage you to take that first leap, take that first step. It's only going to cost you 400 hours. 400 hours. And I'm going to teach you everything you need to know to pass the real estate exam, to run a successful real estate business, to invest in property. I'm going to teach you the easy way of doing math in my class, and I'm going to teach long-term memory techniques, ladies and gentlemen. Long-term memory techniques. You ever read something and after you're done reading it, you have to read it again because you don't know what you just read? The reason that you don't know what you just read is because you were using short-term memory techniques rather than the long-term memory techniques. And short-term memory will escape you. It'll last a minute, a week, a day, maybe 2 weeks, but that's it. Once it's gone, it's gone. You can't retrieve it. Let me give you another example. My name's Warren Nelson. In 2 minutes from now, you might forget my name. Why? Because it was going into your short-term memory. But because I'm talking out loud right now to you, your brain, the other dimension of the brain, is actually working. And the things that I'm saying to you are actually going into your long-term memory techniques. You just don't know why there's a separation between one hemisphere of the brain and the other hemisphere of the brain and how it works. Just by talking out loud, reading out loud will improve your memory function immensely, ladies and gentlemen. I was always into cognitive enhancements. And I realized that the brain is a remarkable machine. And when people say you only use, thank you, Vernon, look at this, ladies and gentlemen, two hemispheres of the brain that I teach in my class. On the left side of the brain, we use for logic. So if you're right-handed, we use the left hemisphere of our brain for logic. 1 + 1 is 2. Good, bad, don't do this, do that. But the other hemisphere of our brain, which we are drugged up in school, which we might choose not to use, and we're taught not to use it, and we're trying to be dumbed down so we don't use it, is for our creativity, art, music, poem, passion. That's the other part of the brain, the other hemisphere. And that is also the long-term memory technique. And if I can teach you, which I can in my class, to cross over that hemisphere from one side of the brain to the other side of the brain, you will see how much more improvement in life you will do just by this one technique that I teach in my class. Hell, that technique alone is worth the $400. Not to mention the investment techniques that I'm going to teach you, how you become the bank. Not to mention that I'm going to teach you how to pass the exam, and I'm going to give you all this other knowledge for $400. So I'm encouraging you to look at this picture that you see on the screen, ladies and gentlemen, and understand that you're probably only using one hemisphere of the brain. You haven't realized how to cross over to the other hemisphere of the brain. I will teach you this in my class. And again, as I said, once you start learning how to use both hemispheres of the brain, you're not going to be lazy anymore. You're going to be excited. You got so many things to do. You got so much to accomplish in a day. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I went to Wildwood, enjoyed the beach, enjoyed the boardwalk. After this show is over, I got a nightlife plan. We got dinner, an event. We got some other things that we're going to do. That is a full day's work. Vernon will tell you, I am always trying to beat the clock. I mean, when this show starts, ladies and gentlemen, I am 15 minutes ready for the show. That's it. 15 minutes preparation, the show goes on, and if I didn't have the gift of gab, the show would be a very quiet show. But as I've impressed my producer week after week after week for several months now, I have not been stuck in a live streaming event yet. I'm sure the day will come where something's not right, but I've been lucky. I haven't been ill. I suffer from this vertigo, and so it has affected me once or twice in my school, in my class, because the vertigo, and of course the doctors don't know what causes it. There's no cure for it, blah, blah, blah. Meniere's disease, tinnitus, allergies, gut problems, ear problems, eye problems, you name it. I've gone through it all, and they still can't figure it out. But do I let it hold me back, ladies and gentlemen? No. I've learned to actually work through this, and because I can control the brain, I can actually control the vertigo uh, a lot better. It used to kick my butt in the beginning when it first started hitting me. I lost control of it, and I thought I had brain tumors and damage and so forth. I didn't know what was causing the vertigo. Still don't know really what's causing the vertigo. But I've learned to adapt, and I've learned to trick the vertigo. So now when it comes on, because of the brain capacity that I'm able to absorb and project, I'm able to actually kick the vertigo to the curb. Now, I don't always win every fight that I fight, ladies and gentlemen. So once in a while, the vertigo does still get the better hand. But for the most part, I'm winning 8 out of 10 fights with this vertigo. And it all comes down to the power of the brain, ladies and gentlemen. The brain is a remarkable thing. Some of you might be suffering from panic attacks. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? That is absolutely the brain, too. That is absolutely controllable. You're causing the panic attacks. That's in the head. That has nothing to do with the biological system of the body. And as we get to a certain age, stress builds these things up. I think a lot of my vertigo would be contribute to stress. Again, that's just the way it is. You know, when you're working with other people's problems and you're trying to get deals closed, the real estate business could be stressful sometimes, but it's absolutely very rewarding. So the life that I get to live, the journeys that I've taken, all have come from my real estate. And it started at a very early age for me, ladies and gentlemen. Right out of high school, I got into timeshares. You didn't need a real estate license back then to do timeshares. And that's really where I got my first taste of real estate and made a lot of money, probably more money than I should have made at that age. And I realized that this is my new journey. And I've never looked back, ladies and gentlemen. I've been in the real estate business for 30 years, and God willing, I'll be in the real estate business for another 50 years. Notice how I didn't say 30 because I want more in life. So I want another 50 years, and everything goes well. We are living longer. We are centurions today. People are living to 103, 105, and they're in pretty decent health for that age. So we can live a lot longer. In biblical times, ladies and gentlemen, we did live a lot longer. We easily was 150, 160 years old in biblical times. So it's just the food we eat, the air we breathe, the water we drink. It is taking its toll. That was another thing that my brain was able to absorb, understanding that, you know what, ladies and gentlemen, no cheesesteaks, no ice cream, none of these things, you know, the things that you really want, especially late at night, especially late at night, and nothing before bed, 2 hours before bedtime, don't want anything in your system. All these things I had to learn. I guess as you get older, you definitely have to change your diet. You have to change your mental philosophy. You have to change your routine. And that's where this real estate comes into play, ladies and gentlemen. Some are very fortunate, like me. I got into real estate right out of high school. So some of my students are very young in my class. Now, the younger class is struggling a little bit more because it's a shame. They don't have that key ingredients, the schooling that they needed, because the school's been a major disappointment. It's been a complete failure. And the teachers don't even want you to see what's happening in their class. They don't want to be filmed. They don't want to be live streaming. Me, I love it. I want everybody to see. I love the live streaming event. I got nothing to hide. All I do is teach, 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 and educate. So for a real educator, not a union educator, I love educating. I want to be live streaming. I want everybody in my class, I want everybody to see what's happening. That's me. And so my young audience is struggling because of the schooling system. But my middle audience, my 30-year-olds, my 40-year-olds, they're lucky. They were achievable of an education, and they got an education, and it's a little bit easier for them to comprehend the class material. And my older generation, like myself, the retired generation, those who've already retired, but they're not ready to sit in a rocking chair yet, They know they got another 30, 40 years. They could do another pension. And that's what a lot of people do, especially the police department. They get started young in the police department, they get their pension, and then they work for maybe the real estate commission, the insurance commission, the gaming commission, and then they get another pension because they got a great start in life, an early start in a career. They did their 25, 30 years, and guess what? They're still young. They're still young. They're only in their 50s. And they know they could do another 30 years without sitting in a rocking chair for the next 30 years. And they are on to the next thing like real estate. So, real estate is for all age groups, all genders, ladies and gentlemen. And male, female, old, young, it doesn't matter. And all races, ladies and gentlemen. We are a global society today. This is why that hate between one color and the other color really isn't working as well as it used to back in the day, in the 60s, the 50s, the 70s. We could use that one color versus another color race against each other. But today it's a little bit harder to do for those who are still trying to create this racism in our society because we're a global society. It's not basically a two color gender anymore or two color race anymore. It is a global race. We have all kinds of ethnicity in our country today. So it's not so easy to do this race thing the way it used to be. And that's a good thing, I mean, because in this business, the only color that we should be caring about is green, and lots of it, ladies and gentlemen. So there's plenty of green to be made in this business, and it is a rewarding journey in the real estate business. Let's give you an idea. Maybe you have somebody that you know that would like to buy a property, or maybe you have somebody that you know that would like to sell a property. How would it be nice? How nice would it be for you to go and say, listen, I'm a licensed professional. I'm actually trained and schooled in this. I'll be happy to help you find that property that you're looking to buy. I'll be happy to help you sell your property. And not only are you making a nice commission and a nice compensation salary on it, ladies and gentlemen, you're also getting a very rewarding factor. This person just sold their house. They love you for it. This person just bought their house. They love you for it. And you just want to do it again and again and again because it's rewarding in many, many ways, not just monetarily, but self sufficient as well for you to help others achieve their dreams. And you know, somewhere along the line, you know that you wanted to get into real estate. Yes, and you've been putting it off. You've been putting it off, and now you might be saying that it's too late. It is not too late, ladies and gentlemen. It is never too late. And again, as I said, in 6 weeks' time, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, in 6 weeks, 75 hours will can be completed. You'll pass the real estate exam. You'll get your real estate license, and now you're on a new journey. And you don't know where that journey is going to take you, ladies and gentlemen. I've been surprised by the roads that I've traveled because of one thing. I passed my real estate exam many, many moons ago, and that afforded me opportunity after opportunity after opportunity. Some opportunities just fell in my lap, literally, just fell in my lap. All right, let me give you an idea. I'm going to show you how to work with first time buyers in my class. And I'm going to show you, even if they don't have the money in a bank account, they're checking their savings account, I'm going to show you where they do have the money. They're sitting on it, they just don't know it. You don't know it. But once I teach you, and you're going to be surprised that you were sitting on this money all this time, you just didn't know you could use it now. They're going to love you, ladies and gentlemen. So you're working with a first time buyer, and you help this first time buyer buy their first property, and they refer you to somebody else. That just dropped in your lap. See what happened there? You helped one person who loved you so much for all the work that you did. They told their coworkers, they told their family members about you, and guess what? Now the phone's ringing. You just helped my son, my neighbor, my friend, my coworker out, and he or she just referred me, gave me your number. Can you help me out as well? You see the rewards there, ladies and gentlemen? You see how easy it is to run a real estate business? All it takes to be successful is to help others in this journey. But in the beginning, I did not know this, ladies and gentlemen. I am now at the age of 56, finally understanding life. I was so selfish. I was so selfish growing up. In my 20s and 30s, I thought that I was the smartest thing since sliced bread. I thought everybody was beneath me. I was making money hand over fist, and I just belittled everybody, and I was just selfish. And I was very miserable. I was very unhappy. Money doesn't buy the happiness, ladies and gentlemen. It is true. I had plenty of it, and it got me in more trouble than it did rewards. It got me into a lot of trouble, as a matter of fact, ladies and gentlemen, until the day came. It was an awakening, so to speak, and charity came upon me. And once I learned charity, once I learned to pay it forward, then life really became happy and rewarding. And that's what I'm all about now, ladies and gentlemen. I am the least expensive live streaming real estate school in the state of Pennsylvania. It's not about the money. As I told you, teaching is not about the income, it's about the outcome. What I do now is I make dreams come true. I pay it forward. I got people in the real estate business that were in my class 2 years ago. They're making more money than I am right now. That's how successful they are. They're making more money than I am. Am I jealous? Am I envious? No. I'm well past that stage. But in the beginning, my younger days, when I was in my 20s and my 30s and partly into my 40s, I was very selfish, uh, and it was not the best of life. My health wasn't good, my mindset wasn't good, and I didn't have many friends either. But now, ladies and gentlemen, once I've learned charity, I learned how to pay it forward. Now the rewards are there, the blessings are there. So here's where I am, ladies and gentlemen. I am now giving a free live streaming class every Monday at 6 p.m. to encourage you to change your lifestyle. All it's going to take is a $400 investment, ladies and gentlemen. I still got to put food on the table. I still got bills to pay, so I can't give it away for free. And you know what? If I did give it away for free, you wouldn't make an effort to learn. It never fails, ladies and gentlemen. I've done that several times. I said, here, you can come in my class, no charge. And they learned nothing because they had nothing involved. They had no skin in the game. But once you pay for your education, now you're going to get your money's worth. That's just the way the mind works, the brain works. So again, I won't do it for nothing anymore because all I'm doing is depriving you of learning. But when you pay for your education, now you got skin in the game, and now you're going to make an effort to turn that $400 into an investment. Once again, Vernon, would you put up my scale of what we make in commission here in the business? Ladies and gentlemen, once again, I don't care if you're selling empty lots, that's real estate. I don't care if you're working with a developer to build property on those empty lots, that's real estate. I don't care if you're selling row homes or single family properties, that's real estate. I don't care if you're selling condominiums or commercial property, ladies and gentlemen. It's all real estate. You need a real estate license to do all of it, and you can do all of it from a lot to a commercial building, big industrial building, condominiums, single family properties. Ladies and gentlemen, the average sale of a price right now is about $300,000 in the Philadelphia market, not the Pennsylvania market. It's much higher in a lot of other areas, 600, 700,000. Hell, you go to 19125, which is known as Fishtown. You got properties going for $700,000 in that area. 300, 400, 500, 600, $700,000 properties. You get to the art museum area, your 700, 800, $900,000 properties. Mount Airy, we got 700, 800, $900,000 properties. So there's a lot of properties well over the $300,000 mark, ladies and gentlemen. And again, as I said, let's just take a $300,000 property. Let's just take a 4% commission. You made yourself $12,000 by helping somebody buy that property or sell that property. Is that not a good return on your $400 investment, ladies and gentlemen? Your first commission check, $12,000. Huh? Or let's take two commission checks and make it $12,000. Is that not a good investment? It's not a good return on your $400 investment? You will never be able to make that commission without the real estate license, ladies and gentlemen. No way, no how. Not legally, anyway. So, and again, putting the title company will not pay you for these flips and for these assignment deals and so forth. Your name's not on the deed, or you don't have a real estate license. Do not expect any compensation from a bona fide title company because you're not entitled to commission. You're only entitled to commission when you're licensed. You can't practice law without a license, you can't practice medicine without a license, and you can't practice real estate without a license, ladies and gentlemen. So once you get that investment, that $400 investment, this is the money that you can make on one deal. What if you did 10 deals? Somebody like me, 10 deals. It's $120,000 for a year. Is that a good return on your investment, ladies and gentlemen? Even if you only did just one deal a year, and anybody could do that because I told you, once you help one person, they're going to refer you to others. So you have other deals drop in your lap. You should do 4 deals by default every year, by default. All right. And so there's a nice $40,000 a year extra on top of your income. Because I always encourage everybody to get into real estate part time. You don't have to be starting real estate full time. You got a full time job, keep that full time job. But because of COVID, nobody wants to work anymore. Nobody wants to work for $15 an hour. And okay, that, but you don't have to. When you have an option like this, you don't want to do the day-to-day routine, you don't want to work for $15 to $20 an hour, then this is your next step, ladies and gentlemen, your logical choice. Get that real estate license, and I don't care what kind of world we live in. For the last, since biblical times, people still need shelter. And we got prehistoric houses. I said prehistoric, I'm not that old. Historical properties, I should say, 200 years old in Philadelphia, and they're still selling. People are still moving in and out of these trinities, these historical properties, all over. So we got properties that are over 200 years old and still selling. They're not going to go out of style, ladies and gentlemen. So, thank you, Vernon. I just wanted to show you what you can make in the real estate business without a whole lot of effort. One deal, 2 deals is going to be a great return on that investment. Ladies and gentlemen, so I don't deprive my sponsor, which is me, we're going to run another commercial and then we're going to close this up, ladies and gentlemen. So, without further ado, we'll be back after these messages. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, I want to remind everybody that our guest speaker next week will be Denise McCoy. Looking very forward to having her. Please tune in. She is just starting out, so she's not going to be sharing all her success stories with you, ladies and gentlemen. She is just starting out, right out of real estate school, fired her real estate agent, took over control of the contract, worked the deal very smoothly, still in the process, and she's going to be sharing her dreams, her aspirations, her goals that she's planning on doing. But wait till you get to meet this individual. I can't wait to have her on my show next week. And you'll see the blast, the emails, and all the advertisement, the text messaging that I'm going to be doing to make sure that everybody gets to meet her next week. Denise McCoy will be our guest speaker. As always, ladies and gentlemen, if you need anybody to produce a show for you, a podcast, a radio show, a live streaming, I always give a shout out to my producer, Vernon, the Gish Group. You can reach him at info@gishgroup.com. As you can see it there, GUISHGROUP. Info@gishgroup.com. If you need anybody to produce for you, Vernon's my producer. He can produce for you. I highly recommend him. Ladies and gentlemen, I told you the quickest hour in real estate. Once again, a little real estate. Don't get the mortgage and the deed mixed up. The deed means you own the property. You get the deed day one. So what? You have a 30-year mortgage. We're going to talk about certain things like quit claim deed, general warranty deed, special warranty deed, bargain and sale deed. These are different types of deed that when you buy property, you better know what you're buying. Otherwise, you're going to get stuck with a bill of goods. We talked about be careful with these assignment of contract. Notice it's not even assignment of mortgage or assignment of lease. It's assignment of a contract, which means somebody had the contract to buy something, they didn't go through with it, and you get to pick up. It's a play on words, ladies and gentlemen. Assignment of contract. And so I'm asking you to buy a property, but instead of me asking you to buy the property, I play with you. I have an assignment of contract. I can let you pick up the contract to buy the property. What's the difference? All right, it's a play on words. All right, so we'll talk about it. I'll show you in the class these play on words. Investment, schooling, stock market schooling. Notice they can't call themselves a school because they're not licensed, they're not registered, so they can't call themselves a school. Notice the play on words. They got to call themselves schooling. All right, so they're going to school you right out of your money. So we're going to talk about the play on words, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to teach you the difference between a mortgage and a note, two different instruments. I'm going to teach you what you are giving up the minute you sign that mortgage, like amicable judgment, confession of judgment. We'll talk about that. We're going to talk about all these things that I could barely talk about in the class because one thing leads to another. And so if I start talking about confession of judgment, amicable judgment, I also got to go into all the other details of the mortgage and what the bank requires. So I just can't give you like one cliff note. And this is why the class is designed, a 75-hour class, to go over these things over and over and over again until it's solidified in the brain so that you understand how to represent others with that real estate license. You understand how to run a real estate business and how to earn income. All these things will be taught. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to go to my website, onlinerealestatesschoolinc.com, onlinerealestatesschoolinc.com. Check out my reviews, check out my calendar for all my classes coming up, and there's a sign up. Invest the $400, ladies and gentlemen, and get into my class. Learn the real estate business. If you want to talk to me directly, ladies and gentlemen, I'm always there. I answer my phone, 267 972 1084. 267 972 1084. Call me. I'm happy to talk with you. I always answer the phone. The only time I don't answer the phone is when I'm in class. And then you'll get my recording telling you that I'm in class. Leave your name and number, and I'll get back to you. I will call you back, ladies and gentlemen. And that's another thing about real estate agents. They don't know how to handle their lead generation or take care of the leads, and they let all these leads go to waste, and their real estate business goes to waste. We'll talk about that as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, the quickest hour in real estate is almost upon us again. The hour goes so fast. There's only 3 minutes left, ladies and gentlemen, and I want to encourage you in these 3 minutes to remember next week's show is going to be a big one. All right, guest speaker. I'm all excited about that. Next week, my podcast gets started, a new venture for me. And every week, I'm always looking to give you something about real estate and to encourage you to change your lifestyle. Don't go back to work. Don't do the same day-to-day routine. Are you ready for a new journey in life, ladies and gentlemen? Are you ready to finally, there's no get rich quick scheme. I'm not trying to hustle you or sell you something. I'm trying to educate you and get you to be a licensed professional in the state of Pennsylvania. That's my gig. That's what I'm offering. I'm not offering you a get rich quick scheme. I'm not telling you that you're going to be a multimillionaire. I have already told you, you got to work to succeed. That is the secret in life. And if you think that when you run your own business, that you're going to sit around, delegate, not do anything, and you're going to work less hours, you'll be wrong, ladies and gentlemen. You will be working more hours, but it will be totally rewarding. As I say, for me, the only drawback that I have is there's only 24 hours in a day, and I'm utilizing almost all 24 hours. Unfortunately, the body does need some sleep. I don't like to sleep. I told you about that vertigo. Never can tell how I'm going to wake up, so sleep is not my friend. I don't like to sleep, but I do know that the body does have to recharge. So I do have to sleep. So I have to waste several hours of my productive day recharging the body, recharging the brain and the mind. So you do need to sleep. But ladies and gentlemen, as soon as this show is over, I got papers to grade. I got a nightlife. We're going to get going out. We got dinner to go to, and we got a few more things to do. And before you know it, it'll be 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. I'll close my eyes, and tomorrow class starts 9 a.m. And I got 2 classes tomorrow, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. I'm hoping come August 17th is our next class. I'm hoping come August 17th to see you in my classroom to help you start your new real estate journey and your new lifestyle, ladies and gentlemen. If I don't see you August 17th, I hope to see you next Monday with my special guest, Denise McCoy, who will be our first guest speaker and starting our first podcast next week as well. So, all new journeys, and I hope to share these journeys with you in the future. Be safe, be healthy, be happy. This is the free live streaming real estate class brought to you by Online Real Estate School Incorporated. We look forward to seeing you again next week. Ciao.